Choosing the right niche for your blog can make all the difference, especially when you're right at the beginning of your blogging journey. It can either be an incredibly fulfilling experience for yourself, or you can end up like this guy who's just bitter and angry and miserable at the world. Whilst it sounds easier said than done, the truth of the matter is finding a niche whereby it isn't too competitive, you can actually rank for keywords, but at the same time a niche that brings in enough traffic and enough search volume every single month is a lot easier said than done, to be honest with you. In the video today then, I'm going to break down the top 3 things that you need to consider before deciding on the niche for your blog. Let's jump into it. Passion. So first up, the most important aspect to consider before choosing your niche would actually just be how passionate you are about the topic. Blogging as a business is a lot of groundhogging and doing the same thing day in, day out before you actually start seeing results. One of the most common reasons then why people actually fail their blogs is just giving up before they start seeing results. This tends to happen a lot more when people just aren't passionate about the topics that they're writing 50, 60, 70. What are we talking about? Sometimes up to 100 to 200 individual posts on. Take note then of your hobbies, your passions, and just what you like to do in your spare time. A question I'd like to ask then is, would you be happy to set up a YouTube channel on your blog topic? For example, using me as an example, don't know why I phrased it in that way. One of the things you can probably tell from all the god-awful gifs that I use on this channel is I'm pretty huge movie buff and I love everything to do with filmmaking. As such, setting up a blog around this would be a natural fit. Now, I'll probably be one of the few people that actually say this, but not everyone has things that they're super passionate about. Some people genuinely don't have any hobbies, and that's perfectly fine and perfectly understandable. If that's the case with yourself, no worries. Just find a topic that you're more knowledgeable about than the average Joe and just start with that. Niche up, title down. Without a doubt, one of the biggest challenges new bloggers face is just finding a niche that's a little bit too competitive for them. I've told you this story before on this channel, but when I first started blogging, one of the things I wanted to start with was a blog all around the fitness industry, weightlifting, all that kind of stuff. Bit of a joke, right? Upon doing a little bit of keyword research, I found that it just wasn't going to happen. Too competitive at best and demoralizing at worst. Good news is that with these competitive niches, you can still go after them. You just have to target them in a little bit of a different way. For example, let's say you would set up a general fishing blog, which is a pretty decent niche to get involved with. If you were to go after topics like how to fish, then guess what? You're gonna get super competitive terms on the back of that. If, however, you were to break your niche down into subcategories, starting with koi fish, for example, and targeting keywords like, why does my koi pond smell? Then you're much more likely to rank for that keyword with fewer authoritative sites in that domain. You would then write 30 or 40 posts around that less competitive keyword and then branch out from there whilst keeping the generic title of your blog. For example, your website name could be fishingexpert.com. That's most definitely taken probably. And then you would just write topics on koi fish to start off with and then move on to goldfish, for example. You're still covering the topic, but you're doing it in a more realistic way. Now, I actually learned this lesson directly from Income School's Project 24, which is the project that I follow in order to grow my website and taught me basically everything I know. So if you're at the beginning of your journey, I'd highly recommend it. Affiliate link in the description box down below if you're interested. Set your goals. So you found the niche that you're passionate about and you found a really unique way of taking on that niche where you're potentially able to rank for those keywords. Good for you. Next up, it's time to set realistic goals for your niche. So what exactly do I mean by this? Well, let's just say, for example, you decide to set up a financial blog, a penny saving blog, because your website would recommend things like insurance providers and credit cards and all those types of things. Those affiliates are going to pay out a lot higher than they would in other niches, making that niche much more competitive to go after. As such, you'll potentially be earning thousands of dollars per month when you're only hitting around 10,000 page views per month, which isn't that many in the grand scheme of things. Now, alternatively, if you were to set up another blog, let's just say in the pet niche, the barrier to entry for that is a lot lower than it would be in the financial niche because everyone can pretty much write about it, right? However, you're likely to need a lot more content on your website before you start earning some of the big bucks that are associated with blogging. If then your niche is a lot more competitive, for example, like the insurance/financial blog, just know you're going to have to do a lot more work early on in order to get your blog to succeed. So things like link building, guest posting, all those kinds of things to get your topics to rank. You really have to treat it more as an authority site right at the beginning of your journey as opposed to a niche website. All niches aren't created equal in terms of financial income, and so not knowing this information before you get involved and start your website can potentially set false expectations as to how well your blog should be performing. Instead, then just set up realistic goals and realistic timescales depending on what your individual niche is, and take things on a case-by-case basis. Try not to compare yourself to other people in their blogs and set up smart objectives to help you do so. Blogging family, leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on how you decide to go after the niches that that you've decided to. As always, if you're interested in more videos around blogging, side hustles, personal development, any of those kinds of things, absolutely smash the like and subscribe button, as it really does help out the channel. And until the next one, I'll leave you to it. All the best. Bye for now.